What up, though? And welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by Detroit Lions on the Prowl and Lions Nation Unite. It's your man, Kurt. Still, today is Monday, April 18th, 2022. You know what I'm saying? We're on deck for the show. We're going to bring you that latest and greatest Detroit Lions news and rumors. Now, rumor has it that MCDC isn't a fan of one of the top edge rush prospects in the draft. And due to an error, the Lions now have only 8 draft picks instead of 9, and the Lions are hosting a quarterback on a top 30 pre-draft visit. But before we get into all that, let me bring in the rest of the crew. Now, I know he had plates on plates on plates from all those women's auxiliaries bringing them plates through the crib yesterday. My man, y'all know them, the ladies love him. LL Cool Tones, what's up, my dude?
You know, it's just beautiful love, God-fearing women doing the Lord's work. That's all that was, Kurt.
That's right.
Good morning, Proud Nation, and happy Monday.
Bringing in them plates, man. And y'all know who it is, man. It's Earl Spence Jr., the Boxy Pride of Jackson, Michigan. My man, who?
You see how he left his eye?
Yeah, man.
Coach Jones. Who was Coach Mike Jones? What's going on, Lion fans?
Let's get this thing started
right now.
Let go.
It's Detroit Lions talk, baby.
We're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yes, sir. We in the deep.
What's going on, Proud fans? Now, it's a rumor going around. Now, I'm not too sure if I'm fond of this. So, Kurt, please tell them what it is.
All right. So, according to a report from Albert Breer, he's an NFL insider, and he's on Monday Morning Quarterback, says that if Aiden Hutchinson is not available at 2, there is no reason to believe that the Detroit Lions will draft Oregon edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeaux. The reason is that the Lions head coach, Dan Campbell, y'all know Dan Tellica, doesn't think he's a culture fit for the team. Thibodeaux has been known to have a lack of effort on the field at times. However, he touts himself as the best player in the draft. Burr also reports that there are some executives around the league that are turned off by his personality, which may be another reason that Dan Tellica is not a fan of the edge rusher, along with his questionable commitment to the game of football. The new Lions leadership have preached culture since taking over the team a year ago. In my opinion, if that player isn't a good fit, I don't think that this regime will add a player that doesn't fit to this roster as far as culture is concerned. Because, the history has shown the Lions had plenty of dead cap salary space last year taken up by players that were released because they weren't a good fit. One being an example, Jamie Collins. Y'all see what happened in that Green Bay game. Lack of effort, and what happened? He was out the door. They didn't care how big that contract was, and he had one of the biggest contracts as far as on the defense on the roster. So, looking at this, how these guys get down, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, it's all about the culture. It's all about buying in. And if you got a player who doesn't fit that mold, I don't think they add that guy. So what do you guys think about culture and how that relates to drafting a player?
I personally, I can see what they're saying about Thibodeaux. Like, I don't, I can see where they come off with that. One thing I will say though, because he might have heard those rumors too, because it really started to come out after one of his earlier interviews. It was like after the season and everything. And then like the next time you had heard from him, he was talking about just how much football is important, or excuse me, how important football is to him. So, it's like at least he, learned from that mistake or whatever it was. He heard the criticism and at least he tweaked it. In some industries they're called that, adapting to coaching. So, so whatever. You get what I'm saying. So I can see what they're saying, but maybe he could be coached up just because, he went out, whatever the initial impression was, he tried to go out and say, hey, at least in my mind, that was a clear signal. Like, okay, I heard what y'all was saying, but football actually is important to me. At 2, if you have those kind of questions, don't take them. maybe. I don't know. I think he could be here. I think he could be a decent player here if he adapts to coaching. But if he doesn't want to be coached and all that kind of stuff, if he's one of those type of players, or maybe even he may get one of those like, man, this Detroit, I don't gotta do nothing here type of deal. If it's gonna be that, then no, we can easily pass on.
Yeah.
Right on. You know what?
Yeah, you a coach.
Albert.
Yeah, I mean, like, you a
Albert
coach. So I want to hear
Bierman.
what you got to say, dude.
Not only am I a coach, I'm a D-line coach. Albert Bierman. What is that? Is that his name?
Albert
Yeah,
Albert
whatever his
Breer.
name is, whatever. You know what? I think he's full of hot garbage.
Okay.
I think he's just searching for a story. He done got the local Detroit media all in got our panties in a bunch and stuff like that, man. I mean, but if you look at it, man, you're not gonna take Trayvon Walker at number 2. I know people are like, oh, his upside, his potential, his production was an 11% win rate.
I'm hearing Trayvon Walker may go number 1.
I mean, hey, if he does, then he does. That's all the power to him. I'm just not trying to take nobody with the lowest win rate in the pass rush and then only on the field for 30% of the time. I'm just not for that. But as into Thibodeaux, man, when you talk about pure talent, then you talk about the guys who can develop pure talent. Then you talk about the Lions. You talking about Thibodeaux. It fits. If Hutchinson is there because they took the Trayvon Walker, and we take Hutchinson, but if Thibodeaux is there, we got to take him. There's no second guessing that. And you know what? And he did make a mistake when he was talking, because he basically, didn't act like a robot. He basically expressed his, I like this and I like doing those things, and I have these aspirations, and that was taken out of context. That's all that was, man. That it wasn't like, oh, I don't feel like it was more like, I have bigger things that I want to do after football. And he let them know that, but he didn't realize that wasn't the place to show that, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. Yeah, man, Albert, come on, man.
Now, I will say this to kind of close this out. Looking at this, I know that with this team and this coaching staff and this regime, it's all about the culture fit, and it's all about players who are coachable, and they don't want anybody on this team that has they're not going to put 100% of their effort on the field at all times. And we talk about, Mr. Tim Hortons, the Starbucks, Mr. Jamie Collins out there on the field, just lackadaisical playing. And
I gotta go in.
if you look at that, this is that coaching staff that doesn't put up with that type of crap. If you're not going to be out there on the field giving 100%, if you're going to have a bad attitude, I mean, and you can see it where they're so competitive that even the play, like even with the Jeff Okudah thing, like, do your job, do what you're supposed to do, and like have those competitive nature and be out there focused on the play at 100% of the time. You're gonna make mistakes. People make mistakes, but if you're not going to be one of those guys that's going to give all that effort that you need to, they ain't gonna want you here. And the tape tells the story. The tape don't lie. I mean, like, there's instances of him kind of, lacking off on some of those plays. Now, is it a business decision? However, at the highest level, you can't make a business decision to take a play off, or not try your hardest, or go out there, especially with this regime, because it's going to be a short tenure in Detroit if you don't do what you're supposed to be doing out there on the field. Something tells me that sometimes I think it can be a smoke screen. I think it can be for the draft crowd, maybe to get somebody to try to come up and grab them, but sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire. And it may be, and I saw the way that Chris Bimmer looked at him, and he didn't look very impressed when he was out there Oregon's Pro Day. He looked at him like, nah, bruh. Nah. He was like, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, now, sometimes that picture's worth 1,000 words, and the way that Chris Bimmer was looking at him, he was like, okay, dude. Yeah, next. So, but with all that being said, man, hey, like the video, share the video, comment on the video. We're on that march to 4K. So get on the bus, Gus, get on this train, Wayne, and go ahead, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. like the video, shares the video, comment on the videos, and hit that notification bell so you know when you're getting fresh content from us right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. The family discussion topic for today is, should character and personality and culture fit matter when you're drafting a player? Let us know what you think in the comments down below, man. I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to read the comments on this one, because some people don't think it should matter. Some people say you're just taking the talent on the field. Doesn't matter what they do in the locker room, yada, yada, yada. It's just a bunch of lip service. But some people say, hey, man, if you can't get a dude to buy in and be a part of the culture, it's going to be a disaster. And we've seen that plenty of times around the league. But now it's time for my man. You know what I'm saying? I know he fresh stuffed off of all those plates yesterday he got on Easter Sunday, man. It's the ladies' pet, that man's regret. You ain't seen nothing yet. The player from the Himalayas, y'all. My man LL Cool Tones. What you got for today, my dude?
Thank you for that fabulous intro, Kurt. And one thing I would like to say about yesterday, I didn't see enough of them Easter perms out there. So that was a little touching to me. I feel like times is a change. But for my news and rumors topic, we have it was actually just a miscue. Turns out the Detroit Lions have just 8 picks in the upcoming 2022 NFL draft. I'm going to read a little bit of the article from PrideOfDetroit.com. It says the NFL has put out 2 official memos listing the official 2022 NFL draft order for all 7 rounds 1 month ago, and the other updated version earlier this week. In both of those memos, the NFL listed Detroit Lions with 9 current selections in the upcoming draft. Turns out both of the official memos were inaccurate. The first reported by the Athletics Denver Broncos writer Nick Kosminder, and quickly corroborated by Lions reporter Chris Burke. The Lions actually only have 8 picks in the NFL draft. The selection question is pick 234, the Lions' lone 7th round pick. Originally, it was believed that the Lions traded the pick to Denver as a part of the deal that brought wide receiver Trinity Benson to Detroit. However, when the initial NFL memo was sent out, reporters scrambled to try to explain why the Lions still had the pick. It was revealed that the 7th round pick was conditional, but it was still believed the conditions were met. Ultimately, it turns out the simplest solution was the correct one. The NFL simply messed up. That pick no longer belongs to Detroit. So here are the official updated picks of the Lions for the 2022 NFL draft. Number 2, number 32, number 34, number 66, number 97, number 177, number 181, and number 217. 8 picks in all. What do you guys think? I guess.
Yeah, the league just got it wrong, and hell, give it the pick back. I don't know, shit. You messing it up. 8 picks, right. 9 picks, especially around that time frame. Yeah. Now, if it had been like, okay, you ain't got a number. If we don't have our top 5 picks in the top, 5 picks in the top 97 picks, or top 100, whatever, I'd have been out of issue. But at that pick, at 234, that's just as much as an undrafted free agent anyway. That's just me.
Right.
I mean, that at a 7th round pick at that later stage of a game, we probably can pick up another one if we trade back. So Brad Holmes there's gonna be at least one trade back in this draft for Brad Holmes. So 8 players, 9 players, all of them. You know, last year was an anomaly where most of those guys made the team. Most teams, 7th round pick, half of the time don't even make the roster. So, I'd be all right. I'm all right with 8 picks instead of 9. What you got, Coach?
I think that might be a reason why we didn't see Trinity Benson as much toward the end of the year. I think that maybe that conditional pick has something to do with playing time or production that he had given, and I think the Lions seen that it wasn't going to be that much to affect the team, so they shut him down, and I think they try to do that to get that pick, but I think the measurables and the numbers added up to where they was just a little bit over, so they had to take that pick back.
NFL said, "You ain't slick, bro. You ain't slick."
But that's my question though. That's my question though. Like, what were the conditions? Like, there must have been some some of the lowest, poorest conditions of a conditional pick because we didn't see Trinity Benson at all.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you,
I'm not
if you a
sure.
seventh round pick, though, I think your production has to be minuscule. Like if you do anything, they're like, you got 3 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown. Hell no, bro.
Yeah,
made it to practice. Made it to practice on time every day this week. You get that's the conditions. You get the you ever get the pick, huh?
Yeah, you definitely. Definitely. Hey, if you want to get yourself a Lions gear bag, go over to fanatics.com. Big sale going on right now. Use the link in the description below. Get yourself some Lions gear over there at fanatics.com. And that link in the description, a portion of the proceeds from that go to help us grow the content on this channel. And if you want to get yourself some Prowl Nation gear, go over to lionsontheprowlshop.com and go over there and check that thing out. I know we're still promising. We're still working on the deal with LNU to get that thing up and running to get yourself some new and updated Prowl Nation gear. So stay tuned, people. We ain't far from that. But speaking of Lion Nation Unite, man, hey, go over there and check us out over there. Man, you know, all your favorite Detroit Lions content creators are right there in the app. And it's the ultimate virtual hangout for Detroit Lions fans. And you can watch our show and some of your favorite shows right there in the app. So go over there to the Google, Android, or Apple app stores and download Lions Nation Unite. Man, now it's time for our boxing guru, you know, because he does boxing and coaching, and I mean, he a chef. I mean, I don't know what to call this dude, man. He just
Renaissance man.
Crazy.
Yo,
He
Renaissance
everything,
man. You know? Come on, that's my daddy taught me.
Man, you know what I'm saying? He, you know, I know he got to be Jamaican because all the jobs he got. My man, who?
Oh man. Listen, so the Lions will be hosting Kenny Pickett coming up pretty soon here. Let's see if I can pull it up. They'll be hosting Kenny Pickett. I'm not sure when the visit is, but they will be hosting them. People are like, why else Kenny Pickett? Because they're not Bob Quinn. You know, they're not Bob Quinn. They're going to host every top 10 pick just for the sake that we're at number 2. Hopefully we can get a trade partner. You know, hopefully we can talk us some things, you know. Probably some reports are going to come out like, man, the Lions were really taken by Kenny Pickett. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and they get somebody to jump up and, you know, they're doing their due diligence. You know, Kenny Pickett is probably the most decorated, I would say, or has the most experience of these guys playing him and Desmond Ridder. So I think that you know, but I think they're doing right, man. They're not doing anything. It's not, oh no, they're gonna take Kent. Every team has a certain amount of visits that they can have, and the Lions doing their due diligence by saying, hey, we're gonna look at Kenny Pickett, and who knows, Kenny Pickett might blow them away, and they're like, shit, we gotta take Kenny Pickett at 2. You know, I mean, who knows, man? I mean, hey, if y'all thinking about Kyle Hamilton at 2, then y'all got to be thinking about Kenny Pickett at 2. What y'all got for me?
Well, Kenny Pickett, you know, you bring him in, kick the tires. Maybe he falls. I don't know. I think he's doing their due diligence. Yeah. You know, they didn't have any quarterbacks coming in, so, you know, well, hell, like I have one come in. Let this dude come in to the facility. I don't know. This quarterback class is just not the most talented. That's all I can say about that. Maybe it was just like, you know, well, shit, at least we got one. That's all. I mean, that may be that's what I think.
I don't want Kenny Pickett simply because of that fake slide.
I mean, we
don't like that.
We already got a baby hand, so why would we want another one?
That too. But I don't. I guess I didn't really mind the talk. You know, I didn't want any of the quarterbacks even then. But after that fake slide, nah, man, you can't come here, dog. That's, for lack of a better term, that's H word shit. How would I bleep the H word?
Yeah,
say shit. But you know,
I don't. You know,
you can't. He doing stuff like that.
I mean, the Patriots would be a good place for him because if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So that's their motto up there. So
you know what? Yeah, I don't think we got baby hands. We can't have baby hands junior.
Yeah,
so
baby hands junior.
Yeah. With you can't. Said Hut.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, man.
Nah, you can't.
Nah, we good on that, Cat, man. I just don't see it, man.
It's too big.
Man, I ain't messing with you, man. Hey, if you want to see more behind the scenes from us, so just check us out on your favorite social media platforms. The links are on the screen, man. Go over there to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and follow the crew over there and the show over on your favorite social media platforms to get some more behind the scene coverage from us. Hey, man, it's time for my favorite segment of the show. It's time for us to zip our lip to see what you had to say about the last show. It's time for the comment cards, baby. Tony Blumenshine says, I agree on that point about the quarterback, because if you draft one, you need to let him play. That's what I've been saying, especially at number 2, and put things around him that you have to invest to put the players or to push the players around him. And I think at this point in Detroit, we haven't invested enough with the total team to. We have a good quarterback that's in place right now. He's good enough to hold us over until we can get the player that we want at the QB position. Especially in this draft, I just don't see it. You build that team, you can go ahead and pluck a quarterback. It doesn't even have to be a quarterback that you draft, though. It could be you could do what the Rams did and trade for like a Matthew Stafford and win the Super Bowl. But anyways, I digress. What you got, LL?
Right. The inspirational one, friend of the show, my guy, Turner C. Burley said, the Lions are gonna have a pass rush. The draft will solve that. But it tickles me how the past is always a present with our fans, even when the evidence says otherwise. I agree, Turner. I agree.
Yeah. But I have to agree with some of the Lions fans. We didn't fail for the band in the tailpipe plenty of times, but I think it's different this time. I feel you on that one.
Yeah, our talent were much different. John Robinson says, if golf fails, Lions have draft capital to find a top 10 QB already playing who might be disgruntled with management, similar to Stafford trade. We do. That's what I think fans are more hoping, is that we kind of grab a QB and then bring him in versus drafting the QB and building them up and then having it be a project where it's like 50-50. He might pass, might fail. So I feel you, John.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Michael Lucies, I think is how you say this, says, Watson scares me. One of the highest drop rates and lowest contested catch rates. Size and speed isn't everything. I agree with that. You're going to have that, especially some of those kids coming from the Division II schools. Now, we have some Division II schools, like some of the HBCUs back in the day were Division II, and they came out there, they balling, you know what I'm saying? But it is a crapshoot when you drop down and you're looking at some of the FCS schools and looking at the talent pool. They aren't playing at the top level for a reason.
Right. Other friend of the show, John Campbell says, yes, please, let's draft a QB out of Cincinnati at 32, 34 that couldn't beat the college, they couldn't beat the best college football team. So let's draft him so we can do the same thing against the Packers, SMH. I see what you're saying. But of course, he would have NFL talent around him at the same time. But I don't hate these quarterbacks. I don't think any of them are as good to go at 2 or that high. If some strange out of world thing would have happened, all of these quarterbacks would have be there in the 4th round, I'd take them. I'd start taking them.
Yeah, there was a big talent gap between Cincinnati and Alabama, John. Come on, man. Cap Ice Cold says, I still have the hardest time trying to figure out how running a straight line, seeing how high you jump once or lifting weights a few times changes what you actually did in your college season. Running a 4.240 with no gear on or anyone stopping you shouldn't delete you being targeted 40 times, you dropping 19 passes, and now you're a 2nd, 3rd round pick when before you were labeled a 6th round pick. Just saying. I see what you're saying. I see what he's saying. Like, he's saying basically people's measurements and measurables at the combine shouldn't rise their draft stock, rounds. And I feel that, like Trayvon Walker. That's a good person. Like, you see Trayvon Walker has all the measurables. So now he's went from the back end of first round, top of the second, to now they're talking about he might go number 1 overall. So that's yeah, I understand that, because like you said, his win rate was like 11%. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that even equate when you're only on the field 30% of the time? So your win rate is like a 6%. You know what I'm saying? So like, come on, yeah, I feel that.
You look at some of look at some of these draft prospects, and you look at what's going on with them, like a Trayvon Walker, who was they rotated a lot of players into that Georgia defense. That's just how deep and good they were.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get some people who don't have the stats. But I think that we're talking about, which really is a Watson, where I mean, you see how far he's jumped up the draft boards, and you have players that people think that are better than him, like a Pickens or a Mechie, and these guys are, they played at the top level, but he did his combine workout. Now he's at the, he's shooting up the draft board. So, I mean, we'll see. A lot of players aren't doing some of those things. You look at some people haven't run the 40 times, and they don't do those things because of the fact that it's really a non-factor. It really people are gonna draft you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna turn your tape on to see what you did on the field, to be honest with you. And some people really think that the combine is an outdated measurement, is outdated, and they think that especially those measurable drills aren't the greatest measurement of what a player can do on the field. And we all know that Jerry Rice ran a very poor 40 for a wide receiver, and he's arguably the greatest wide receiver of all time. So, it happens. But all right, that's the comment cards, man. We appreciate you guys leaving those comments, man. You know how we do it. We pick 6 of those things each show to read on the next show, and we're gonna have some fun with those things. But we really appreciate your contribution to the show, because it's all about the fans, baby. It's all about the Prowl Nation family. So thank you for contributing to the show by leaving a comment. Now it is time for what y'all say is everybody else's favorite segment of the show. It is time for Dessert with your man Curt, brought to you by Delightful Bites. Delightful Bites, custom cookies and desserts for any occasion. If you like how they look, you'll love how they taste. Delightful Bites, get your cookie on. Hey, it is rumored that, speaking of Trayvon Walker, that he may be the number 1 overall pick in the draft, and Aiden Hutchinson is now in play again for the Detroit Lions at the number 2 overall pick. So, all us homers, Michigan fans, you know what I'm saying? We could have had that homie with the high motor back in Detroit for, have him in Honolulu Blue. I mean, we'll see. We'll have our own number 97 doing some things out there on the field. We wore the same number as his dad. So, we might have him on the field. And, the USFL kicked off this weekend, man. We had some good slate of games that happened. Some sloppy play, at times you can see that, but that's only through 3 weeks of practice. But they had some interesting games, came down to the wire. So the Michigan Panthers, because this is probably, part of our show, because, we're going to talk about those guys, a little bit of Panther Prowl talk on a Monday. Lost a tough game, 17-12. This, to be honest with you, quarterback play wasn't great for the Panthers during that game. A lot of turnovers, not a lot of really cohesion between the quarterbacks and the centers. A lot of over snaps and fumble snaps, and not especially in the shotgun formations. You had Paxton Lynch come in for Shea Patterson, started, wasn't playing well. You brought in Paxton Lynch, and then you brought back Shea Patterson. Now, I will say this: Shea Patterson did get them in the position where they could have won the game at the end of the game. But what happened again? Bad exchange between quarterback and the center in the shotgun formation, and ended up really costing the Michigan Panthers the game. But I will say this: I'm glad to catch some football this weekend. The first game, the Birmingham Stallions and the New Jersey, that was a pretty good game. That was a game right there. They was some spectacular catches and some big drives. But football is back, man. If you want to get your football fix on while the NFL is on hiatus, go ahead and check out the USFL, man. They play on the weekends. They play on Fox and NBC, man. So go over there and check that thing out. But all of the games are played in Birmingham, Alabama. I know they're the Michigan Panthers, but everything is played down there. And the reason being is money. They can charge a minimal ticket down there, and they want to build up the income for the league. So they're starting this. It's not the same where you have all these billionaire owners owning the teams. The league is kind of self-owned, self-promoted, and it's a spring league. So go over there and check out the football over at the USFL. But again, the Michigan Panthers lost a tough fought game, 17-12. The Houston Gamblers defense had them dudes on the rope all the first half of the game, and that is your dessert with your man Curt. Brought to you by Delightful Bites. Delightful Bites, get your cookie on. Now it's time to take a wall of fame. Walk on over to that wall of fame real quick. The Latino Leo, Brian Stover, Jimbo G, Justin 10K, and Smoking Jeremy B. Shout out to Smoking Jeremy B. He was a target of some bashing by somebody on one of these a YouTuber, and it was not necessary. But shout out to Smoking Jeremy B. He does quality content over there, so go check him out over there on Kneecap Biting with Smoking Jeremy B over there on Facebook. And you have some silver members in our crew. You know how we do it. Batman of the 313, Mr. Scotty the Bear, the Frenchman, baguettes and all that. Henry Wallace, Nomus J, and Go Lions. Now we have our gold members. We have, we do it on our Wednesday, man. We had a great conversation this week with my man Michael Huck and Dr. Detroit, man. We always chop it up real good. But we got those gold members. We got Michael Huck, Mr. Reliable, the inspirational Turner C. Burley, the tornado always blowing through the building. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we keeping everybody safe. But Mr. Miles Gibbs, Rough and Raw himself, North End Ken, and the Dr. Detroit. He is always in. To become a member of the Wall of Fame, click that Join Now button down in the description. Now it is time for final thoughts for today's show. What you got on this next to last Monday in April? What you got, my man LL?
Shout out to Coach Jeff Fisher of the Michigan Panthers. I'm saying that sarcastically, of course. We need to start a campaign to get him out of there and get Coach Mike Jones in there or something. I don't like Jeff Fisher. Get him out of there. But shout out to everybody out there. Happy Monday. Have a great rest of your week. And you said this is the second to last Monday before
the last Monday next week.
So it's also the second to last before the NFL draft. So we are almost there. And I can't wait. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me for a minute, because I gotta kick it with the real me real quick. Listen, all this bashing that's going on with people and their podcasts and stuff like that. Oh man, I hope y'all don't live in Michigan, because you know Mike Jones used to be in them streets, like kind of heavy, kind of thick 'em, and I don't really want to have to do nothing to nobody. So I just like everybody to play friendly, everybody to be calm and get along, kumbaya, because I might have to find somebody out there. So you know what I'm saying? Just everybody just be cool, man. We all friends. We all give a hug, and you know what I'm saying? Show some love out there, man. Stop hating on each other, man. It's too much. It's way too much going on. We doing this for fun. We do this because we love football, man. Like, stop making it like that, man. People respect people's opinions. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just show the love, man. Embrace each other. Brotherhood. We're a proud nation.
Yeah, definitely. Final thoughts for today's show. Yeah, culture fit does go a long way, and you don't want any disruptions on your team. Speaking of teams, we are a Lions YouTube community. We're content creators, podcasters, and anything. You're doing things, you're creating content, and everyone has their own audience, right? Because our audience fits with us. These are people who listen to us. They like to listen to us. They value our opinion. They what we do and how we do it attracts them. Because someone has a different opinion or has a different approach does not make them wrong. It just makes them different from you. And to be out here saying the truth, want to hold people accountable or fact check people, it doesn't make any sense to me. Why it's to me, that sounds like a personal thing between you and someone else that's trying to take on a public forum. If you don't like the person's content or you don't like what they're saying, you don't have to watch it. Just keep your content to your audience, man. You're going to grow more followers and more people with your content if you just stay true to your content and do what you need to do. If it ain't working, it doesn't make sense for you to try to take down another content creator just to make your content look good. This just doesn't do that. So, hey, it's Autism Awareness Month, Autism Sex Month this month, but it also should be Human Acceptance Month. Accept people for their differences. And you
Yes.
know, like always, you know, it's Autism Awareness Month, so I wear my shirt from my man. You know, I say got proud autism parent today. But as always, man, like we say, if you can be anything in the world, just be kind, man. So with
Right.
all that being said, it is Monday. That grind starts today, baby. So go ahead and wrap up that lunch, man. Wipe them crumbs off your face, finish your drink, and get back to work, baby. And whatever you do in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my fellas, LL and Coach Mike, this is Curt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon. We love you, Jim.